The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
It is high noon on a Wednesday inside the SWBC podcast studio here at the Star in Frisco. Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola. And officially, it is Texans Week.
Texans Week.
You know what that means?
People in Houston are all fired up about
You know
this
what
game.
that means?
What
It's
does that mean?
state championship game week. Cowboys playing. There's going to be about 12 state championship games played next week at AT&T Stadium. Wow. And what better way to kick off state championship week than with an NFL state championship game? I just want to know, how the hell did the Texans qualify for the state championship game at 1-10-1?
That's pretty low, Bill. That's pretty low.
I think we were informed in McCarthy's press conference that the Cowboys are 17-point favorites.
Yes, I heard that.
He didn't have much of a reaction.
No, it wasn't McCarthy who informed everybody that we are 17-point favorites.
He does not want that to be published.
No, he was informed.
That's right. Yeah.
Is that possible? 17?
It is 17. That's right. Have you seen the Texans play?
I have.
Okay.
Somebody asked
Have you seen
me,
Did you see the Cowboys' fourth quarter the other day?
Somebody asked me about it, and it's like, well, let's put it this way. The Cowboys are giving up an average of 17 points a game, and the Texans are averaging 15 points a game. 15! That's it.
So you're saying the Texans are going to score 16 because
16,
the average between the two?
Yeah, we'll split the difference.
So what are the Cowboys getting? You might as well make your pick right now.
Right now?
The most points the Cowboys have scored in franchise history, 59.
59. You think that's in jeopardy?
Can you believe we're talking like this?
Yeah.
You watch as soon as you start
talking like this.
As you start talking like that, this is going to be one of those 21-19 games going to the fourth quarter, just like on Sunday night.
This is not the Cowboys talking like this. This is Bill Jones.
Only Bill Jones is
the
talking
Super
like
Bowl
that.
hat on. I purposely wore the Super
I think
Bowl
when
hat.
he puts it on, he
all of a sudden.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
Going on.
Yeah.
That's right.
It made his brain swell.
Not falling for it.
Well, Mickey, you're following through with it, too. You're tagging right along.
No, I just pointed out some stats. That's
Ron
all.
Springs, you say you're like a big mouth bass.
You can turn into a big mouth ass.
You can turn into
There you go.
Yes. Oh man. So what do they have going on? I mean, if the Texans are going to do something, what?
They got their quarterback back.
Okay.
Well, it was by choice that they benched him, and now he's back.
So
Davis Mills.
Yeah, Mills
That's
is
true.
back.
Yeah, Mills is
They
back.
They've gotten Kyle Allen.
Kyle
Allen got benched.
Yeah.
God, that's tough to get benched on a team like that.
John McClain, the
Esteemed writer.
esteemed, now retired sports writer, Houston Chronicle. Someone was interviewing him last week. He said in his however many years, 43 years or whatever, maybe 53 years of covering Houston football teams, this is the worst offense I have ever seen in my life. So,
Well, the Cowboys, they have a history of handing out treats, so
Yes, they do.
might help them along a little bit.
And that's the challenge.
That's the
for
danger.
this team. But it's the challenge.
Yes.
As you go on, can you mature?
yeah, exactly.
Can you mature?
That's right.
How much did we learn from years past, especially last year, to what we're doing now? Do we make the same mistakes? Do we, show the same weaknesses in badly timed situations?
Well, they've been able to overcome them in most cases this year.
Yes.
But you got to quit doing it, especially when you play good teams, as a matter of fact. So got to be watching out for that.
I think that's Nate from Frisco.
Yeah, already chiming in.
That's Nate from Frisco.
Nate from Frisco says, challenge? Did you say challenge? Really? I guess that's a commentary.
But now he started off with Odell. Now what? which is a very good question.
Elvis left the building yesterday somewhere around 4 o'clock by helicopter, by the way.
Whoa. Isn't that nice?
Did you witness it?
Swooped him away. I saw it. Yeah.
You saw it?
Absolutely. So let's start there, because it appears, just as we were talking about yesterday, that availability is a pretty big component to this whole thing.
That's what was said at the outset of training camp.
Right? And I believe the Cowboys came to the conclusion that he was not ready to play football anytime soon. And I believe Jerry Jones pointed that out the other day. He said, if we sign him, it has to improve us now. You know that's a pretty tall order, and it has to improve us in a way that makes sense for us as we look not only this year, but as it impacts the years to come relative to the financial aspect of it.
Salary cap.
Salary
That's
cap.
all he's
Right?
That's a long way
Long
of saying
way to
salary.
get to it, right? and from what I found out, he was nowhere close ready to play in the regular season. Now, I saw some things say, well, maybe he could have gotten back for the playoffs.
Postseason.
Okay, you don't play any preseason game. I mean, regular season games, right?
Yeah.
That means if you're not playing, you're probably not practicing. Now, you're going to practice for a playoff game, and that means 1 week, and you're going to be ready to play. He just wasn't ready to play football.
No.
As that became the bottom line, and I think maybe the Cowboys would have been entertaining next year. Maybe, okay.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about it. I think it's like, okay, do you want to get signed to the practice squad? And then, you'll get
wrap your way up
your
and
little
see
bit.
how you feel.
And see where you're at.
We'll develop
and
you.
I would imagine
we will help you ourselves. You could develop it.
And this is just me, but I would imagine his ego would not have allowed that. And again, here's the other thing that I don't think anybody thought about. So when you're a free agent, you're not rehabbing with the Rams, right? You're rehabbing on your own. And we know about rehabbing on your own as compared to working out there with Britt Brown, right?
Yeah.
Where are you at, and how long is it taken? Because we see the guys that work with Britt tearing an ACL, Michael Gallup, it's going to be 9 or 10 months, right?
I think he feels like he's ready. He feels like that. But the facts are the facts, okay? The image is going to show what the image shows. And even though he might feel like he can play and he's, feeling pretty good about it, we've already dealt with this with Michael Gallup, as you said. We know what that looks like. And if we babied, as we should, we babied Michael Gallup along so that he could be ready right now. Perfect time. We did it just the way it was supposed to be done. We don't have time for that for LBJ. And plus, he's not even OBJ. He's not even on our squad yet.
Right.
So, I still think you can find with all the trainers and the expertise out there, I still think he can find good trainers and probably has worked with good trainers up to this point. That still doesn't make him heal any faster.
Right.
And that's the bottom line.
And here's another difference between Michael Gallup and Odell Beckham Jr. It's 4 years difference. 4 year. Michael Gallup is a 4-year younger player and doesn't have as much wear and tear.
And an extra surgery that goes with that with Beckham. This is his second surgery.
On the same
Beckham's only had one.
ACL.
Look around.
Gallup's only had one.
Look around the NFL, and the breaking news right now in the NFL: Von Miller.
Oh man.
Von Miller. Yeah. Just underwent surgery, as it turns out, an ACL. And you go back to this offseason, and Von Miller wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy. And there was conversations between the Cowboys and Von Miller. Well, here's a 33-year-old player.
Who just was paid like 120, what was it? Over $120
million bonus or something.
Well, it was 120 package, I thought. Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's another one where, okay, they initially said, no, he didn't tear his ACL. He's got a chance. And it's like, no, he tore his ACL.
Yeah.
You know, it was like the thing with Garoppolo now. This always bugs me, and I did some research, and I didn't get to the bottom of it. It said, he's not out if he might make it back from the playoffs because he didn't break his Lis Frank, right? I said, so, okay, what did he break? Well, he broke his foot. Well, no, he didn't break his foot. His foot's still there, right? What bone did he break? And I could not find that out. But it kept saying, well, at least he didn't break his Lis Frank. Okay, what if he broke his fifth metatarsal? Right?
The Jones fracture.
Yeah, that's 9 weeks, 10 weeks.
And that's the rest of the season.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that they are being very coy right now with Garoppolo. I don't think they want anyone to know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Because right now, this is a delicate situation. You know, they're making moves in San Francisco. And, of course, they're trying to keep up with us because their defense is just as good as ours.
So do you think the Rams claimed
to keep him from going to San Francisco? Not that they're going to make the playoffs, but just so San Francisco doesn't have the joy of like Baker Mayfield's going to lead them to the Super Bowl.
Is that crazy, man?
I don't know.
Is that crazy, bro?
They claimed him.
Baker's supposed to start for the Rams Thursday.
No, seriously.
Seriously.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, that's right.
They're talking about
they
got a Thursday game tomorrow against the Raiders, and they're talking about
Just
Baker Mayfield's going to start for
Because right
them.
now they have this
Bryce Perkins, Don Perkins'
Don
nephew.
Perkins' nephew.
I know, but
they're
he's-
already canning him. Come on.
Yeah, but he's no Lamar Jackson, bro.
So let's get back to Odell.
Real life stuff.
Again, he just wasn't ready to play,
Right.
and there's no sense signing him, right? Somebody pointed out, well, they got $6.3 million still in the salary cap. It's like, okay, but you're not going to just
I don't want to give it to him.
squander it,
Yeah.
right? And so I think how we were analyzing this, we were right on.
Yeah.
It was like, he's got to prove that he can work out and do something. And I don't think he did it.
The health was the most important thing that was getting checked out.
He should be careful, as Odell Beckham himself should be careful, because if you go out there now, let's say he would have signed with a team
and the Dez thing happens.
Yeah, and then
because you're not ready to.
You're not
the
ready.
ACL might be fine, but you're not fine.
You know how we talked about that earlier. Things around it are affected.
Yes.
Okay. Just as that damage is there, but that it permeates outward like a spider web or something. It's gonna. There are other things that are going on, not just your ACL. There are other things around that because the human body is so intricate that you're gonna have to deal with some other things.
You can have an Achilles that'll pop when you're not ready.
You just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You got to. So anyway,
we might have saved him.
Right.
In his own best interest, he needs to be ready to go.
Because he's going around. He's not ready. If he's not ready to play, if that X-ray doesn't show what it needs to show, bro, you got to be careful.
Think about
this. About your livelihood now.
If you're not ready to practice, how long are you going to have to do that to be ready to play? Michael Gallup was at least out there before they started his 21-day deal. He was out there rehabbing, running, doing all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And, if you're not willing to go out and show I can do this, then how much further are you? And you're right.
He had to know.
And he should, this may, and who knows what the other teams might do, right? But he should do himself a favor and make sure when he goes and work out for somebody that you're ready. And then you can
probably why he's
paid.
Not working out now. He probably knows he's not ready.
Yeah,
he has to know he's not ready.
Mm-hmm. But let's see how desperate these teams are to sign him.
Let me go around. I got nothing else to do, man. We can go party. You know what I mean? And we can go talk to people. I can talk to the media and everything. But he knows he's not ready.
And think about when you work out on your own, not on your own. I'm sure he has somebody
Good
that's very qualified, right?
Yes.
But those people, it's like, I don't feel like doing this morning. You call in and you cancel. Right? You ain't canceling on Britt Brown.
See, here's the other thing where it benefits him as far as free agency goes by getting these visits done now. Is he's going to have a jump start on everybody in free agency
what I think
because he's already a free agent. He doesn't have to wait until March 15th or whatever it is, and so he will be signed before the free agent period starts.
I'm hoping he's pivoting right now and saying, you know what, let me just relax.
And he didn't look despondent when I saw him getting ready to get on the helicopter.
He just wanted to have a good time.
They were taking selfies and pictures.
It was a recruiting trip.
He's established a relationship with these teams, the Cowboys, the Bills, and the Giants, and now, a month from now, if one of these teams has an injury, then and they become desperate, then. And he's ready to go.
God forbid, that could be us.
And as a street free agent, somebody could sign him as a future. Mm-hmm. You got his rights, but he doesn't count on your salary cap just yet until March 15th.
This is a long time that he's been going through this. It's a long time. Does age have something to do with it? Was it an extremely unique injury within?
We don't know. Yeah, as far as ACLs go, it could be. Yeah,
I don't know, but the fact that he's not ready. How long has it been? 10 months
since the Super Bowl.
Middle of February. Super Bowl was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Jeez,
I can count on my fingers if you want.
It's 10.
It'll be 10.
10, right?
We got it. We're good.
Okay, good.
What you do at this point, you count backwards. You don't go for like February is 2 months from now. And so
that's good tutoring, Bill. Good tutoring. Now you can go out there, go with God. But no, it's something that we may have. Whoever was going to check first, I'm going to give us two. He had to know. He had to know that something was wrong. If he's out there running around and that X-ray shows that it's not quite right, I know he can feel whatever the Cowboys saw. I know he can feel it when he works out.
And on top of it, so somebody said, well, how about doing it for next year? Well, okay, but I got to see first, right?
Still got to see.
But if you look at the Cowboys next year, unrestricted free agents. So I just wrote them all down. You can choose.
You're talking every position or wide receiver?
Yeah, for the Cowboys.
Okay.
So Cooper Rush, unrestricted. Tony Pollard, Noah Brown, James Washington, Dalton Schultz, Connor McGovern, Jason Peters, Gallimore, Hankins, Watkins, Barr, Gifford, Leighton Vander Esch, Anthony Brown, Goodwin, and Donovan Wilson. With
16.
With Lamb entering his fourth year. They'll pick up his fifth-year option.
They'll pick up his fifth-year option in the spring.
Which is pretty high, right?
Yeah.
So you've got some things that you got to worry about, and as I wrote down after that, with Parsons and Diggs not far behind. So that's like 6 starters on the depth chart right now that the unrestricted free agents.
And when's the decision to be made on Zeke?
I'm not sure if there is a decision on his base salary, but they would already incur like $10 million in dead money if they moved on. Mm-hmm. So you can say, oh yeah, well we're moving on from Zeke. Well, okay, are you going to give that money to Tony Pollard? Mm-hmm. And you think he can handle 25 snaps a game? I mean, 25
carries touches.
A game, touches. You want to, when the running back coach said after that one game and he tapped out at 14 carries.
You could see it.
Right?
You could see it.
Yeah, it wasn't like a secret. Right. He basically was like, okay, it's time for me to go to the sideline.
You may want to think about Diggs before you think about Lamb this offseason. Because Lamb, you got that fifth-year option. Right. Diggs, you do not.
Diggs,
he's in the same draft.
He's going to
his last year.
Diggs
so you better get him.
Earlier. Yep.
So
because after the last year, you're going to be like, oh yeah, how much you want now?
And those guys don't want to play the last year of their contract, right?
Parsons will be addressed after next year.
Yeah,
correct.
After his third year.
Yeah.
Even though you have him under control for 2 more years.
Because you would hope you can spread out and then lessen the impact of that fifth year, picking up the fifth-year option. So anyway, so I just don't think this is surprising that this is how it turned out.
No.
Okay, when we continue here on Mixed Shots, we'll talk about a wide receiver who is coming back soon in just a moment.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh, she's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
What do you call a group of grown men and women with their faces painted silver and blue who get together every week to share a 3-hour-long ritual of jumping, singing, and toasting Miller Lite in 10-gallon hats while yelling, "How about them Cowboys?" You call it Miller Time in Dallas. Here's to the Cowboys. Here's to the original light beer. It's Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2021 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
Cowboys Roofing and Waterproofing, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. From corporate homes to your home. Have your roof checked by choice, not by chance. Call now, 214-225-4860, and you can go to kpostcompany.com. As Everson Walls cracks jokes right before it's time to do the read.
You just can't control yourself. You're just overwhelmed
with laughter.
All right. As I alluded to, James Washington continues on the comeback trail.
Getting close, I think.
Getting close, sounds like. Tyron Smith is out on the practice field today for the first time, opening his 21-day window.
I think they were supposed to start at 12:15 today, or 12:05. One day was 12:05 and one day was 12:15.
It is a misty, kind of drizzly day here today, so
not a good day to work out outside.
Yeah,
not at all.
But at least Tyron's back practicing, and as Mike McCarthy said, anytime you hear Tyron Smith on the practice field, that's a good thing for this team.
What is the timeline? What are we looking at?
Today's December 7th, and so 21 days takes you to December 28th.
He said
happy birthday.
He wanted to see him in a couple padded practices. Okay? There's no padded practices this week.
Of course.
And then you only get one a week.
We don't want to get him too tired.
You don't have to be regretful, that you had to practice every day.
I'm jealous. Is that what
Can it be? Can you apply that individually to a player? Like if Tyron hasn't been in a padded practice all season, he could go ahead and do 13 in a row if he wanted to.
He could have pads in while everybody else is in.
He's the only one out there in pads.
The days built up. Yeah.
Now he's rehabbed in pads. I think that's allowed.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Good. So he has been in pads.
So just think about it. So say next week they have one padded, and then it's a short week to Christmas Eve, and you get maybe one padded. It's a short week. Maybe you're not. So, yeah, I think it's after Christmas.
No Philadelphia.
I guess it depends on what.
He would have a second padded practice probably before Christmas Eve.
If they
if you're going to stand by that.
Right, yeah.
Then it's another short week to Tennessee.
I'm not comfortable with this.
You don't think they should?
But they will have to activate him by the Tennessee game because the 21-day window is up.
Right, exactly.
I'm very worried about him and his health. And
like
how he's
getting
back out there. Getting back out there. That's a huge man, dude. I went to we went on a cruise or something. I went with he and some of the guys. And I sat next to Tyron. I think I've said it on the air. This guy is huge. I mean, it's like his bicep is bigger than my waistline. Like, oh my God, this guy's huge. I just couldn't get over how big he was.
So you know what he reminds me?
It's a lot. That's a lot to bring, to the table to balance. It's a lot to
for your hamstring that you tore off the bone. Right?
It's tough, man. I'm not gonna lie. I am pessimistic about his chances.
You know what?
To finish the season.
And stop me if I said this here because I remember saying it somewhere. That you know how they start the Fox pregame show with that big looking
robot. Yeah.
That's what he looks.
That's what he looks like,
right?
No doubt, man. He's amazing. He's I mean, the guy's he's all pro, first ballot, and all of that, a Hall of Fame first ballot. But I am pessimistic about his chances to finish this season
because the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
So much to handle.
But they have, they started, planning for the future in the game this past Sunday with.
He went down, and he went down late August. So this September, October, November. He's been 3.5 months basically rehabbing.
And I think originally,
and that's a special injury because you said the muscle came up from the bone.
Yeah. It's not one that you heard of.
I've never heard
right?
of that before.
Yeah.
So
they originally said December and maybe by the playoffs. So it's kind of where he's at right now. But Tyler Smith did get snaps at left guard in the game. And they also got McGovern some snaps at center. See, and that's the thinking part of this is that if Tyler Smith can make the transition back to guard and Tyron's good at tackle, then McGovern is your backup guard center.
Yes.
And that saves you from elevating somebody off the practice squad that hasn't played. Right. And you've got a backup guard center, so now you've saved 2 spots with one guy. From the 48-man roster.
So how did Peters look in the game as far as grading out?
Yeah, he was okay. I don't know. I don't think he played.
19 snaps.
19, I was going to say. It was 2 series, I think, as I remember.
Now, these type of games, they're good for us because it gives us a chance to get some in-game experience.
When's the last time Cooper Rush played?
Right.
So,
Cooper don't need to play.
He just go out there.
Yeah, he does what he does, man. Cooper's like, y'all go ahead and prepare. I'm good. But no, I just think I think we have an opportunity with these blowouts to really get some in-game experience.
Right.
Okay, and then the other move the Cowboys have made is they have signed a veteran cornerback to the practice squad, and that is the former Minnesota Viking Mackenzie Alexander.
And we got a chance to see him work out when
Which
we
one was
left
he?
the show. I think he was the
30s, the shorter one.
Shorter one.
Okay. Oh, well, he had quick feet.
Right.
I thought the other guy had great lateral movement from what I saw, but McKenzie, his moves were more compact, quicker feet.
And he basically spent 4 seasons with George Edwards at Minnesota.
Where has he been? And how long has he been gone?
He is a former second-round draft pick.
Out of Clemson.
Of the Minnesota Vikings in 2016. He spent 4 years in Minnesota, then signed with Cincinnati in 2020, came back to the Vikings last year, and was with the Dolphins in camp this year.
He sustained an injury. They put him on injured reserve. And when he was good to go, they released him.
Yeah.
So he's not been with anybody during the season.
Is he kind of like
So he's 29 years old.
Is he kind of like a Basham in this case? The way we let go of Basham.
Oh, yeah, in terms of...
He's a good player, but just no room.
And once he was, they released him injured. So then you can't bring him back. He's got to sign with another team. So... and he's been mostly a slot corner. Now, let that register because Deron Bland's playing there, but he has played outside in college, Deron Bland.
Okay.
So
it gives you some position flexibility there with Alexander.
If Kelvin Joseph doesn't totally work out, because he
or if he had another injury.
Yeah, absolutely. Because in Cincinnati,
because you got Nashawn Wright is in a slot corner, obviously, with his length. And so, I mean, they needed someone who can play inside.
Do they know if Nashawn can't play the slot? Have they tried?
Well, I don't know. I just
to me, he's a little tall for the slot, right?
How tall is he?
He's like 6'4".
6'4".
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to look it up if he's around there. We're just
Let me get that accurate for you.
That's a tall. Ooh, man. That's like Mel Blunt in the slot. Jeez.
6'4", 190. Now, the other day when McCarthy was talking about safety help maybe at corner, I'm wondering if he was thinking of Mukuamu because he was.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because he played corner at South Carolina.
In college. And the Cowboys
but there's a tall guy who can play corner.
But he's 6'4", too. So
yeah,
those are outside
He made
guys.
some nice plays in preseason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he made a nice play when he had to go in for the game the other day.
That's true.
It was one play, but he made it.
He made it.
So, and they'll just, I'm guessing what the order is that Kelvin Joseph, who, I wrote this down. Where was it?
Let me say this.
Joseph is going to miss practice today. He's sick. He's got the illness.
Again? He was sick 2 weeks ago over Thanksgiving. He missed a game with illness.
Right. Well, Mike said he had something, and Sam Williams might miss too. Hankins has got a family thing. So he told us when he was walking off. But Kelvin Joseph going to get the first shot, right? And then Nashawn Wright will be
in the slot.
No, outside.
Outside?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so that you can keep
Bland where he's at. And then Nashawn Wright would be the game day backup. And if they run into trouble, if Mukuamu's healthy, they'll probably give him some practice snaps out there at corner.
You have to look at the most diverse player that you have out there, and that would be Bland. Someone that can go inside and outside.
Right.
If you're a slot corner, it's easy to go from slot to outside. That's easy because that's just standard. You're still a cornerback.
It's harder the other way?
Yeah, the other way, going inside, especially if you're a 6'4" corner.
Right.
Yeah, Bland is good going either way.
And the guy's got a double release on you.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
And you can't get your hands on him right away.
Well, he's so doggone quick. If you're 6'4", I can see your feet getting tangled up a little bit.
Yeah, you're 6'4" and you're in the slot against CeeDee Lamb. Good luck. Right?
Not going to work.
Yeah.
Or Tyreek Hill or somebody like that.
Yeah.
So what you're looking at is, they're taking the lesser of the evils. They don't want to move Bland because he's doing so well inside.
And since we're on the corners, I saw this stat in the Cowboys release. Trayvon Diggs, not completed 3 years yet, has 17 interceptions. The Cowboys' all-time leader, 22, Everson Walls from 81 through 83, and you got robbed how many games in 82? 7?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 9 game season.
7.
Yeah. So anyway, just saw that come up. And that was, by the way, that was an NFL deal because the guy that had the second most was Dwight Hicks.
That's my boy, man.
79 through 81.
I'll call him after this.
He had 18.
No, he was a baller.
So Walls was first, and then Diggs.
But Diggs in our corners.
Yeah,
Hicks
was a safety. I think they said defensive backs.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how they worded it.
So I wonder what Mel was in all of that because his first 3 years had to be impressive.
Well, you can look up in that little book right there, and you'll find out. If you remember his,
I will be able to look up on Pro Football Reference, and I'll tell you
real
already.
Fast.
And I'll tell you, he had an interception in every single game he played in. Remember that on Pro Football Reference. On Pro Football Reference, you go back to the '60s. They don't have all the games. As I discovered last year, they don't have all the games listed. They only have all the games you had an interception in. And so there was some player from the Cowboys past where I'm going, this is unbelievable. This guy had an interception in every single game he played.
We revise history a lot on this show.
That's right. One other note on Mackenzie Alexander, a college teammate with Jaron Kearse at Clemson, nice. Was in the same draft and was a teammate of Jaron Kearse with the Vikings for 4 years, from 2016 to 19. So there you go.
That's a nice little familiarity.
All right.
And when we come back, I'll give you another interesting stat.
There you go.
On Mick Shot.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh, she's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
The season is finally here. For months, we've been gearing up to win. Now it's time for the team that performs on any field, United Ag and Turf. With John Deere zero turns for mowing, compact tractors for loading, mini excavators for digging, Gator utility vehicles for hauling, implements for grading, hay tools for baling. United Ag and Turf, for winning. The official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com for more. Back to Mick Shots.
'Tis the season for Dallas Cowboys holiday youth camps presented by Invisalign. Register for one-day football and dance academy camps are now open. Don't miss your chance to send your athlete to camp at AT&T Stadium on December 20th and 21st. Register today at dallascowboys.com/academy.
Okay, Mickey, you teased something at the end of the last segment, and I can't remember what it was you teased.
With 5 games to go, Donovan Wilson has 4 sacks as a safety.
Okay.
He's tied with Derwin James, who signed a multi-million-dollar contract when we were in training camp, right? He showed up to practice against the Cowboys.
Okay, yep.
If he gets one more sack, he will tie a Cowboy high for a safety or maybe defensive back with 5 sacks. 1984, Bill Bates.
Really?
Who, by the way, I saw on Sunday night. He comes and does the deal where Star Sports Tours is and signs autograph, takes pictures. And he was there Sunday night, and I got a chance to go over and take a picture with him and shake his hand.
Denise was with him?
Yeah, Denise was with him. Yeah, it was good to see.
Were the triplets with him?
No, they are talking to Denise. They're spread all over the country, including one of their children is in Australia, by the way. So it was good to catch up with them.
They were very happy with the Tennessee football season, I bet.
Yes, I bet they certainly are.
Yeah,
Hey,
they
Everson?
could be happier. And not
that little thing in front of you is called a microphone. You need to put it close to your mouth if you want to hear it.
Excuse me. So sorry. So sorry.
So anyway, there's a little nugget for you.
Okay, and then we were talking about interceptions first 3 years in a career, and I think Everson asked about Mel Renfro. Mel Renfro had 11 picks his first 3 years, 64, 65, and 66, which is the same number Everson had his first year. And Mel Renfro's in the Hall of Fame.
I know.
Yes.
Most deservedly.
We're just saying,
damn
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. There's the update on that.
So he must have been balling towards the end of his
the
career.
next 3 years, and I don't have it called up now. He had 10 his sixth year in the league.
Ooh.
So he wound up with 52 interceptions. He wound up with 52 interceptions, and you had
44.
Okay, here and then
go on to 57.
57.
Yeah, a couple of teams.
So that all
he
counts
stayed.
in your NFL career.
And then he wants to count his playoff ones too.
Yeah.
Of course.
Which he had 2 his rookie year. So he actually had 13 in, 11 or 12 games.
81-82.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
81,
because it was
82.
in January.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Okay. All right, what else is on your
Those
legal
were the
pad there, Mickey?
days.
We got 4 minutes left here.
So this will put sacks in perspective. Cowboys right now have 48 sacks. They lead the league. The Eagles, by the way, are second with 42. This matches after 12 games the most sacks a Cowboys team has had. 1985, they had 48 in 12 games.
Yeah, we talked about that.
And prior to that, 1966, when sacks were not considered an official NFL stat, they had 49. 86.
Somebody went back and reviewed that and came up with that number.
Yeah. Probably found more. And then in 86, after 12 games, they had 44 sacks. So these are, and you know, there was another year back in the 60s they had more sacks, but that wasn't after 82. This is the matches the most.
And they have added those sacks on Pro Football Reference in 1966. All right, who led the Cowboys in sacks in 1966?
Well,
Jethro Pugh.
If I was a betting man, I'd say Bob Lilly.
Jethro Pugh had 5.5.
And that was
Bob Lilly was second on the team with 15 sacks. That was a 14-game season.
So he was second.
Lilly was second on the team in sacks with 15 in 1966.
And who was first?
George Andre had 18.5 sacks in 14 games.
He was balling. Gee,
George
that was a
Andre,
hell of a
6'6",
defensive year.
250-pounder out of Marquette. George Andre.
Marquette played football back then?
You ain't lying.
You know, I toured Marquette before I went to college.
Do they have a football team?
No, they have
No.
basketball only.
Did they have one then?
No.
Well, they had one when he was there.
And they had
So I guess, did he play basketball at Marquette?
well, back
6'5",
then,
6'6", 250.
obviously they did have a football team there.
Yeah,
I thought
no,
you
that's
meant
what
when
I
I
meant.
visited.
Cowboys
No. When they,
Cowboys love basketball players.
yeah, that's right. I've never heard of George Andre being, going the Cornell Green basketball
Never
player.
knew. Oh, my goodness, 18 sacks.
George Andre was a 5-time Pro Bowler.
He gets overlooked too, by the way. Yeah, absolutely.
That's impressive.
Which gets back to the Walk of Fame that the Cowboys need to have at AT&T
yes,
Stadium
yes.
Bill's
to honor the
invention.
George Andres of the past, those who are not Ring of Honor, but they have a special place in Cowboys history.
they
Like
have-
the Jethro Pews, the Bubba
Walt
Coles.
Garrison.
They have,
Yes.
enough,
Walt Garrison.
they have enough sidewalk space that
Yeah.
they could do that and put a brick in there.
And you do a little ceremony. Could even be in the off season ceremony where
Bring 'em in.
have their
Bring all
family
of 'em
there
in,
and
yeah.
everything. Yeah,
Because I did see, where the people can buy the little bricks on the sidewalk, and they're in these little quadrants or whatever you want to call them.
My daughter took a picture by mine.
And you got
know
one,
what-
you anchor one down, right?
yeah.
So I'm walking to the game on Sunday, and I went past one of them, and somebody was sitting there looking at it, and some guy goes, "Oh my gosh," just like that. He goes, "Herschel Walker's got a brick."
Good stuff.
Just like
Good
that.
stuff.
Just like that.
Good stuff.
Crack me up, right?
Oh man.
How many people in the world, how many people in the United States don't know that Herschel Walker played football?
Oh, I
think
I bet there's a bunch of people
so?
that, because his name's now in the politics, whatever. Right. I bet you there's a bunch of people who have no clue that Herschel Walker is a football player.
If he got like 1 million votes.
He got 1.7.
1.7?
Yes.
Then 1.7 million people know he played football.
That's the only reason they would vote for him.
That's right.
That is SEC country down there.
As he said, I won championships, and I'll win a championship for you.
That is a good one.
And it didn't quite work out that way.
No.
Thank God.
That was Everson Walls that said
that. Was me, guys.
The rest of us were thinking it.
I am merely a subcontractor here, so I can say what I want till they fire me.
All right, so we're out of time.
We'll get into
on that note.
A little more Texans than just their quarterback situation.
I'm going to spend the rest of the day studying the Houston Texans. I'm a little concerned about their fortunes this week because Rex Burkhead was inactive last week, and
oh no,
I think that might be their only hope.
Rex Burkhead, man, your
dude.
That's
right. Yeah. So I've got to check and see if Rex is going to play or not.
All right.
So
Rex
I'll have
plays.
a full
Now,
report tomorrow.
That might tip the scales. It might tip the scales.
That point spread's going to go down if Rex is there.
That's right.
Okay, we'll talk at you again tomorrow here on Mick Shots.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!